Traffic Radio 96.1 FM as we highlight the development and new regulations put in place to address the problems of the maritime industry. Wednesdays 9:15 a.m. and Saturdays 10:15 a.m. Maritime Today is brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Hello, Lagos, and welcome to your number one frequency for mobility and accessibility, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, cruising you along the lane of excellence this Saturday morning, taking you 1,000 miles ahead of the information race. It's Saturday, and that means a whole lot. Of course, the bees and buzz of Nigeria's commercial hub is gradually waking up to the reality that traffic is picking up gradually, but we're here to supply the info as you move from one location to the other. So whatever you do, let us seek true friendship in people around us and develop the atmosphere for cordiality. Albert Camus says this morning, and I'm going to quote him, he says, "Don't walk behind me that I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me that I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend." End of quote. Something for you to reflect on as you drive along this beautiful Saturday. And with that, I welcome you to Maritime Today, your informational gateway into the maritime industry. Twice weekly, of course, we bring you maritime, and Saturdays we bring you, or perhaps we take you through the rich world of the maritime sector. And of course, it is geared at developing the sector. It is geared at bringing the latest gist in this sector so that you can have the better grasp of how it works. A sector often referred to as the gold mine of the Nigerian economy. And we're doing that with the hope that we can stimulate ideas that would trigger 360 degrees development of the maritime industry. The program is brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council, the economic regulator of the port. It's so nice to have you join us. So call a friend and tell a friend that the journey through the world of plural possibilities is about to begin. Thanks for joining us. My name is Victor Oteri. All right, then. So on the program this morning, we're taking information and taking the concerns of businesses to the south part of Nigeria to reflect on how we can promote businesses within the south zone of Nigeria using the experience of the Nigerian Shippers Council. We'll also be bringing you the latest gist in the maritime world, plus your input as well. If you are a shipper or perhaps a stakeholder in this particular industry, you can always connect with us on 091-5387-7127. That's 091-5387-7127. A brief break. We will be back.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nanir.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is a program we set for the conversation. But before we do that, quickly, let's take you through the last update that we've got. Those of you who are still trying to access the Third Mainland Bridge, it's very, very accessible at this time. Of course, you see have it pretty good. Ikorodu Road as well is receiving with good vehicular flow at this time. Talking about mile 12 connecting Ojota all the way is looking good. And even if you take it from the rear, the length and breadth of the zone generally cool and calm. Traffic from areas like Aruno to Agric intersection, from there to Antikeni as well as Ogolonto intersection, linking up with Majedu and Asolo down to Itowolo. Very, very good. Likewise for the return journey as well. But from Ogolonto proceeding through Obasekumade, it's good to Ebute police post as well as Igbogbo, all looking pretty good this morning. Same for the return journey, and we can tell you all through that corridor, impediment is negative. We'll be serving you more airplanes as they come in from time to time. On Maritime Today, we're going to be talking of how best to stimulate business in the South-South zone. But before we do that, quickly, let's bring you the latest news in the maritime world. And here is Mike James to take us through that excursion.
All right, on the maritime news today, as part of its strategies to drive service efficiency and contribute revenue to the federal government, the Nigerian Shippers Council, NSC, has set August 2024 for full paperless operations. NSC Executive Secretary, Chief Executive Officer Pius Sakuta disclosed this on Thursday at the opening ceremony of the Council's three-day 2024 Strategic Management Retreat in Abeokuta with the theme Unlocking the Potentials of the Marine and Blue Economy for Rapid National Economic Development. He said the implementation of the KPI signed earlier holds the key to achieving several significant deliverables, like streamlining port operations, enhancing logistics, and facilitating seamless trade to enhance port operations. Akuta said the agency remains determined to make significant contributions to the development and implementation of a national policy on maritime and blue economy. Still on maritime achievement, the Nigerian Navy deployed 7 ships and 2 helicopters to provide effective maritime search and rescue services on the country's waters. The flag officer commanding FOC, Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Mustafa Hassan, flagged off the operation codenamed Exercise Swift Response on board the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Kada. The deployment included other facilities and a patrol vessel of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. This exercise involves the deployment of suitable naval assets equipped for maritime disaster management operations. The exercise is aimed at contributing to the safety of lives at sea in Nigeria's maritime environment and the Gulf of Guinea by providing prompt and timely response to maritime accidents, he said. Finally, on the news, India will bring in and prosecute 35 Somali pirates. Its navy captured on a hijacked ship, MV Ruin of Somalia. A Navy official said in a departure from its recent practice of rescuing vessels and crew but leaving the disarmed pirates at sea. The captured pirates are due to arrive in India on Saturday and will be handed over to the law enforcement agencies, the official said. Indian Navy commandos managed to release the Malta-flagged commercial ship MV Ren on Saturday, which had been hijacked 450 nautical miles east of Socotra in the northern Arabian Sea by Somali pirates on December 14. It's marked the first hijacking of a merchant ship by Somali pirates. That was the maritime news. Thank you for listening. Over to Victor Oteri for the rest of the program.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as una goods they move from port A go enter port B with a measure within una need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. The website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting for the port of Nanid.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program. And of course, we did talk about the Nigerian Shippers Council holding its management retreat, strategic management retreat, just to try and see how we promote a paperless kind of ease of doing business. All right, but let's switch gears to how we can promote businesses in the south-south zone of Nigeria, looking at the Shippers Council remedy. And joining me on the phone line this morning is Glory Onojedo. He is the Director of South-South Zone, Nigerian Shippers Council. Mr. Onojedo, nice to have you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Oteri. Thank you for having me on the program.
Wonderful. I know that you are in charge of the South-South Zone, but where are you located at the moment?
The Nigerian Shippers Council is currently holding its management retreat at Conference Hotel in Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Great.
So as we speak, I'm at the retreat venue here in Abeokuta, Ogun State.
All right. So that's more or less like changing a kind of environment from the South-South where you are based to Abeokuta, which is Southwest. But it's been a very, very long time we had you on this program. So just bring us up to speed. What's been happening to the South-South zone of the Nigerian Shippers Council?
Well, thank you very much. The South-South zone has experienced some changes from the last time that you gave me the opportunity to appear on your program. As you will know, the last time I appeared on that program, our parent ministry was known as Ministry of Transportation.
Right.
But now it is the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. There has also been a change in government, and both in the states, where in all the states where the in the South-South zone.
Right.
So there has been quite a number of changes. And of course, that has also affected the way we do business.
All right, then. So let's talk about the overview of your business and the functions that you carry out. As Director of South-South Zone, what are your responsibilities?
As Director of South-South Zone, as you well know, the South-South Zone has 6 states, the states of Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Cross River,
and
Rivers. I was just going to forget the state where I am located.
Right.
Now, those states has 4 major ports: the ports of Warri, the port of Calabar, the Rivers Port in Port Harcourt, and of course the Onne Port Complex.
Right.
So my duties are to oversee the Shippers Council's responsibilities as port economic regulator in those ports, and also we relate with our stakeholders, the importers, the exporters, the shipping companies, the freight forwarders. So basically, these are the things that I do as director of the Nigerian Shippers Council in the South-South Zone.
And glancing through the mirror of assessment this morning, Glory Onojedo, how would you access shipping within the South-South Zone, especially in this first quarter of 2024?
Well, the first quarter of 2024 has been very, very eventful for us in the Nigerian Shippers Council. We have had to meet first time we had a special retreat of the Nigerian Shippers Council, at which we developed the policy that we go into the marine and blue economy policy in furtherance of the performance bond, which our Honorable Minister, His Excellency Adeboyega Oyetola, signed with the President.
Right.
Having done that, we are meeting now to develop key performance indicators of the Nigerian Shippers Council, cascaded down to the various ministries, to the various departments and units, and of course, even the outstations like the South Zone,
Right.
and how we are going to deliver on those mandates and the performance bond which the Honorable Minister signed with my Chief Executive. So, generally, there has been a lot of activities that have impacted, because we have now been able to develop a roadmap and a strategy from where we are to what the President's vision are, and how to achieve those visions. So all this is a lot of activities, and we have been grossly involved in all this.
All right, so lots of policy formulations are coming up to help actualize this. But let's look through that zone. And the South, you just mentioned 6 states that, are domiciled in the South zone. In terms of infrastructural development and projects that are available in that zone for shipping services, how would you describe it?
Well, as you may know, a lot of infrastructure are being developed. Let me talk about the ports, for example. The terminal operators are doing, particularly at the ports, they are doing a lot of infrastructure development to show up the facilities that are available for ease of doing business in the port. As you may well know, just last week here, the minister came to our airport.
Right.
The Honorable Minister came to our airport to commission a 4.8 kilometer road, which is called Route 4 at the airport complex. The minister equally commissioned mooring boats. So, and the terminal operators are also developing some infrastructure in their various areas. So all these adds up to the things that are being done in the South Zone, particularly in the ports.
All right. I know that the APM terminal, they also commissioned a container port there. That was sometime last week. The West African Container Terminal, also within that corridor too. So lots are coming up. But areas like Edo and even Delta, do we have shipping services? Do we have truck transit parks, for instance, what we refer to the vehicle transit areas? Do we have the inland dry ports that are coming up in those areas? Which projects do we have in those corridors?
Well, thank you very much. I just restricted myself to, because you said in 2024. So I decided to restrict myself to things that have happened from 1st of January, maybe up till now.
Right.
But of course, in Edo State, you know that Nigerian Shippers Council is promoting the development of 2 vehicle transit areas, one on the Benin bypass and the other one at Avielu in Esako local government.
Okay.
There is also the EMIS, Edo Inland Dry Port, that is being developed at Agomoba village in Benin City. Then, if you go to Delta State, there is this proposed vehicle transit area to be developed at Umulede. You know, we are working with the state government currently to see how a parcel of land can be allocated for that for that project.
Right.
Then, if you move on, to River State, I've mentioned a few. Let me also add that the road from Eleme to One, which has been bad all this while, government is doing some work there now. Some bridges are being constructed, and I believe that in no distant time, the road there will be a very good access route to the airport.
Okay.
And same thing is happening in the other states, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, and so forth.
Okay.
So generally, government is committed to making the ports and shipping activities in the South Zone to try.
All right,
and to be very, very active.
All right, so in these 6 states which you mentioned in the South zone, do you have the presence of the Shippers Council offices in all these states?
Shippers Council is present in 4 of the 6 states in the South zone. There is an area office, we call it the Benin area office in Edo State. It's based in Benin.
Okay.
Then we have the Warri Port office in Warri. There is a Calabar Port office in Calabar. And of course, Calabar is in Cross River State. And of course, you have the South Zonal Coordinating Office that coordinates the activities of the two ports and the area offices together with the activities in River State. So the Nigerian Shippers Council is present in 4 out of the 6 states. And we just want to add that we are also looking at the idea of having an office in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay.
Because of the deep sea that is being contemplated to be established in Akwa Ibom State.
Right.
But in all of these states, there are shippers associations. There is Edo Shippers Association, which is very active. There is a Delta Shippers Association in Delta. Then there is a Rivers Bayelsa Shippers Association, and there is also Akwa Ibom Shippers Association and Cross River Shippers Association.
All right.
So we have 5 active shippers associations in addition to these infrastructure that are being developed.
All right, so that means there must be a whole lot on your hands in terms of coordinating the activities of shipping within all those states. So how do you relate with these shippers associations?
Well, as you may know, the act setting up the Nigerian Shippers Council gave the Shippers Council some specific functions. One of which is that Shippers Council should promote the formation of shippers associations across the country. And it is on the basis of that statutory function that these shippers associations are formed. Now, what relationship does we, as officers of the Nigerian Shippers Council, have with them? We serve as secretariat to these associations. We provide logistic support to the associations. Together with the executives, we identify areas of need, maybe enlightenment, maybe policy contribution that they need to make. So these areas will relate to them and we ask them to make their contributions. So we have very cordial and very active relationship with the shippers associations, and this has been helping us in delivering on our mandate and on the functions that are given to the council.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program, and I have Glory Onojedo. He is the director, South Zone of the Nigerian Shippers Council, and we are looking at best ways of promoting businesses in the South, the Nigerian Shippers Council remedy. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, what natural resources do we have in the South zone of Nigeria? And of course, he's told you about his relationship with the shippers associations. How are they keen into the vision of the council in trying to ensure that we have seamless and, of course, a good ease of doing business? All these and many more we still try to explore. And you can also send in your questions and your contributions to 091-5387-7127. That's 091-5387-7127. A brief break. We'll be back.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos. Or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program, and I still have with me on the line Glory Onojede, who is the Director South Zone of the Nigerian Shippers Council. Back to the roads, and still giving you updates. Victoria Island, to be precise, we can tell you we're having it very, very cool and calm within the zone. At this moment, movement from Mekwen Bridge, very, very good. We can also tell you Ahmadu Bello, inwards Adetokunbo, Ademola, Ajose Adeogun, inwards legally Ayanride, Oniru, and that entire stretch down to Water Corporation. Very smooth ride at the moment, no major worries. Likewise, for the return journey from legally Ayanride, inwards areas like Eco Hotel roundabout, very, very good to go. And then Sanusi Fafunwa connecting Akin Adeshola, appreciably good as we speak. Law School Civic Center heading towards Sandfield, connecting Toll Plaza, that entire stretch to Lekki, inwards Marwa, also looking very, very good as well. Let's return back to the conversation and start talking about the South-South zone this morning. Let's talk about some of the natural endowments and the natural products that we have from the South-South zone. Glory, what would you tell us this morning?
Thank you, Mr. Terry. Perhaps the major endowment as far as marine and blue economy is concerned that we have in the South-South zone is the Atlantic Ocean and the body of water. And that body of water means that a lot of shipping activities, fishing, and so forth are going on that water. And of course, there is also mining of and dredging of sand. So the body of water in the South-South zone will traverse the 6 states of the South-South zone is a major natural endowment of the South-South zone.
So there's water from Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Cross River, rivers, and even Akwa Ibom.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that is why if you look at the states that we have mentioned, virtually all of them are thinking of developing one seaport or the other. In Edo State, you must have heard about the Gelegele Seaport.
That's right.
Which was actually a seaport that the white man, when they came to this part of the world, through which they entered present-day Edo State. Then, of course, we needn't mention that of Warri, because Warri has the Warri Seaport, both the old and the new ports, and there is also a port at right inside the water there. What's the name now? But Warri has a port.
Okay.
There is a cocoa port. There is a sapler port. So the Delta State is endowed with lots of ports. Bayelsa State is also thinking of developing a seaport. And of course, in River State, you know of the River Port and of course and the Onne Seaport. Akwa Ibom is thinking of developing a port. And also Calabar, which of course right at the foot of the government has body of water, and I believe that maybe the state government might be contemplating something like that. So the major natural endowment which is available in the South-South is the body of water, and that meant a lot of shipping and marine and blue economy activities.
So let's talk about some of the shipping services. You as the council, you are in charge of regulating, the economic component of those ports. How well are these activities, trading, how well are they taking place within all these ports that you've mentioned?
port activities are taking place in all the ports that I've mentioned. Port activities takes place at the Warri port. Though not, the port is not particularly active, but there are port activities. And there are concessionaires. Terminal operators are at the Warri port. There you have the Julobeja services, you have Intel, and you have the AMS, Associated Marine Services. At the Area 1 port in Port Harcourt, you have two concessionaires. You have the Bois, and you also have the PTOL. That's the Port and Terminal Operators Limited.
Right.
In One, you have about 4 concessionaires. You have Intel, you have Brower, you have WACT, that's the West African Container Terminal, and of course you have the One Multipurpose Terminal. Same thing, if you go to Calabar, you have the Shoreline, you have the Eco Marine, and you also have Intel. So there are shipping activities in all the ports in the South. But let me just add the caveat that some of them are not as active, and they are not handling as much as their capacity can actually do.
And why is that so? Why is that so?
Because there are some impediments. There are some impediments to vessels coming to those places.
Okay.
One of it is the dredging, which the ministry and the NPA are currently handling. Then the other, maybe the access road to the places could also hamper. So basically, these are the impediments. But government is taking them on head on, and very soon we will start reaping the rewards.
All right. So there's a question here from Afolabi in Festac. He says, "Good morning, Traffic Radio, and thank you for bringing your guest who is speaking eloquently well about his zone. How competitive are the ports that we have from the South-South zone? A lot of times we have traffic gridlock right here in Apapa. Is that the experience that you have also? Is that the experience that you have also in the South-South zone ports?" Thank you. Okay, so Afolabi is asking that question. How competitive are the ports in the South-South?
Yes. Let me say this. The challenge of gridlock, we don't have challenge of gridlock in any of the ports of the South-South zone. There are no challenges of gridlock. We don't also experience challenge of congestion. But I think the other part of the question, I've already attended to it by saying that there are some impediments, in terms of the channel to the ports and so forth, that restrict the size of vessels that can come to those ports. But government is already addressing those challenges, and in no time, everything will be okay.
All right, so last week, we talked about what the Shippers Council has been doing, the launch of the portal. Let's just talk about that, because I know it was done in your zone, and you represented the Executive Secretary.
Yes. You see, it is important that those who operate in the port, businesses that operate in the port, are registered and known to government. There is no regulated environment where the regulator will not know, just like what the banks do, know your customer, KYC, So the Nigerian Shippers Council has launched a portal where shipping service providers and shipping service users should register, so that the Nigerian Shippers Council knows them and they also know us. And of course, that offers so many benefits, both to the economy as well as to shipping. It makes shipping very seamless. It makes it easy. Prior to now, people have always thought that shipping is one closed area that you cannot just go into shipping. But we in Nigerian Shippers Council say no. Register with us, and by the time you start, you go to our website and you start interacting, you find that shipping is an open business. So we have launched that portal where shipping service providers and shipping service users can register.
Right.
And let me quickly add that the turnout, the rate at which people are, these businesses are registering is really, really massive.
Okay.
In fact, except that I'm just shy of saying that probably we did not come out on time to request it, because immediately it was launched,
Right.
they started registering, and we have launched it both in Port Harcourt, in One, in Warri, as well as in Calabar in the South Zone.
All right. So the response has been very massive ever since you registered that portal.
Precisely, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
And I also want to use this opportunity to call on the shipping service providers and users who have not registered, terminal operators, shipping companies, shipping agents, haulage companies, truckers, freight forwarders who have not registered up to now to go to the portal and register.
Let's talk about some of the challenges facing shippers in the South Zone. Glory Onojedo, what are the challenges?
Of course, as we well know, there is no aspect of human life or business that are not faced by some challenges. Some of the challenges that shippers still complain of is that they generally complain about shippers or businesses. The major motive of every business is to make profit. And making profit is a function of two things: either to limit your cost or to maximize your benefit.
Right.
So where shippers are asked to make payments, even if those payments are statutory and genuine, no matter how small, they will complain. So they complain about things like the amounts they need to pay for tariffs, charges, and rates generally.
Okay.
This, in a nutshell, is one of the things. They also complain of the cost of trucking from the port to various destinations in the country.
Okay, let me just bring some
They
concerns.
also complain about the roads.
Right. Let me just bring some
also
concerns to
complain about
you. Let me bring some concerns to
Yes.
you. I know that we spoke with the president of the Edo Shippers last week, and he talked about the challenge of Forex, which is a very big one for them right now, which is also making some of their members go out of business. We've spoken with the dump truckers in areas like Cross River and Calabar, and they are talking about foreign domination within their own sector. They said even for their own practice, a lot of foreigners have come to take over the business. So what is the council also doing to help those kind of stakeholders to ensure that they can partake in these shipping services?
Please, let me get this clear. Are you talking about the haulage business?
Yes, the haulage
Foreign
business.
companies have taken over haulage.
Yes.
Well, as you very well know, in any business you have the big players and you have the small players. The big players are likely to be highly organized and to have a fleet, massive fleet of trucks. So it is obvious that it is not easy for the small players to be able to compete with those big players. It's actually an area of concern. But the Shippers Council has been toying with the idea of reforming the haulage business in Nigeria, because this idea of a one man who owns one truck, is the driver, is the marketer, is admin, he does everything, is not really going to be sustainable.
Okay.
So the time may come when the Shippers Council may want to say that a number of truck owners should merge together, register a company, and operate under a company name.
All right.
In which case they cannot become competitive. And of course, this complaint one of the concerns which you have just raised might not be a thing of the past.
Let's
you also mentioned the issue of Forex.
Right. Quickly.
You also mentioned the issue of Forex. With what is being done presently by the central bank and the Nigerian government, we have started experiencing a downward trend in the value, in the conversion rate of the dollar to
the naira.
So I think the surge that we experienced in the last 2, 3, or 4 months is gradually easing out.
All right.
We strongly believe things will be better.
We'll leave it at that for now. Glory Onojedo, it's very, very nice speaking with you. I must say a very big thank you to you for connecting with us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then. So we'll leave it at that.
I look forward to you inviting me again.
Right.
Thank you.
Definitely. We'll do that from time to time. Thank you so much for linking up with us. We have to go. The program this morning has been produced by Mike James. I say a big thank you to Rebecca Adamo, Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council, the Executive Secretary himself, Barrister Pius Ukeyuma at Kuta, and in the studios here, Gladys Omenime and Ayomide Babafemi. Not forgetting Okpayemi Shudunke. I say a big thank you to all of you and our executive producer, Taya Conley. All right, birthday wishes going out to my mother-in-law. That's Mama Omotunde Oyeyiga. She's clocking 70 today. So Platinum Jubilee celebrations. I say a very, very big happy birthday to you, and we pray that God will continue to sustain you. We call her the prayer warrior mama. All right, then. Happy birthday to you and to others as well. I'm signing out. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a splendid Saturday. Bye.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from Port A, go